Come here. So today we're going to go out. We got a little rain. We got about a week of warm weather. The water temperature's jumped about 10 degrees. There's a 5, 6, 7 mile section of the lake that's kind of got some color to it. Kind of the conditions that I wait for. We're going to throw a spinnerbait. We may run into some situations where we get in areas where the water's a little bit clearer, so maybe a lipless, like a one knocker, maybe even a square bill. Just kind of laying the spinning rod down for the day and going to go back to the bank and see if these fish have started to pull up a little bit. It's, you know, anytime that water starts jumping, it's going to trigger some to start moving. I'm not saying go to the bank and spawn. I'm just saying start to move around those areas. So we're going to try it today, and you know, I don't expect to get a lot of bites, but I kind of expect to catch a few nice ones. You talk about, I thought I was on a stick, a light bite, just, old blade just quit turning. He was out there deeper than I really expected him to be. Like I've been missing this. What's happened is, you know, we've been out, the lake has been pretty clear all winter long. And you know, we've been fishing deep a lot and just kind of getting warmed up on live scope. And we had a rain about a week ago. When it's done, it's like a 5 mile section of the lake that it's not dirty. I mean, I'd say a foot visibility, but it's dirty enough to let us throw this. And you know, I was hoping there'd be some wind today to kind of dirty it up a little more. I think we're going to get some this afternoon. But I just wanted to go spinnerbait fishing. You know, what's happened is not only with that water getting dirty, there's been a temperature spike. It was like this area right here was literally froze over 2 weeks ago, and it's back up to 50 just because it's got some color and stuff into it. So, you know, some of these fish ought to be starting to, I wouldn't say stage, but thinking about it. You know, starting to move up, get shallow, bounce around. It's probably one of them deals where if we got some wind today, they'd probably get up there pretty shallow. You know, but I got a lot of rods laid out. Typically what happens when it's like this is if it starts getting a little clear, or, you know, it's not windy enough, you can pick up a, you know, like a one knocker, like a lipless or something, and really kind of do the same thing. Just, golly, kind of slow roll it. You know, you're not going to get as many bites as you would maybe, you know, fishing deep around them schools and live scoping, but this time of year you can catch some really big ones. There's just not a lot of people doing it. That was a little bit shallower. Here's the cool thing about this. I've been fishing a lot out here. I've had 2 bites so far in an hour. That's just the difference in spinnerbait fishing. I can go down the lake and get a lot of bites, but the 2 that I've caught have been like, you know, like bigger, not bigger, but as big as anything I've caught down the lake. And that's the deal to this. I mean, you just may not get many bites. I mean, there's days you get 20, 25, 30. But right now you're just not going to get that many bites. You know, if I were to fish all day and got 10 bites, I feel like that'd be pretty good with the water being the color it is. But they're just going to be, they're going to be bigger. You know, and I know we've talked about this a lot on video, like a lot of questions, you know, what spinnerbait do I throw? There's really just depends on the water. You know, the colder the water, the dirtier the water, the more I lean toward a Colorado blade. But I mean, I throw willows too, just depends on the clarity. But the Colorado gives me lift. I can kind of, with that water not being real warm, I can just kind of crawl it. I don't want to be on bottom, but I want to be close to bottom. I want to be able to reel it and kill it 2 seconds. 1 second, I'm on the bottom. You know, I don't want to be dragging it. I'm going to get their attention with that Colorado blade. And if you miss, you want to miss high, meaning I'd rather be higher in the water column than dragging it on the bottom. And it's just like anything else. You'll you know, this time of year you'll fish. There's areas where the water's dead, and then you'll just, you know, you'll hit a little stretch or a little wad of them and catch 2 or 3, and you have to go on to the next one. But yeah, this is probably one of my favorite ways to fish. Obviously, just slow roll it out of sight, down there deep. But this is borderline. I mean, if the water was any clearer, I'd probably be cranking or, you know, throwing a 1-knocker, lipless. If the wind were to blow, this would be about perfect, because then they could still see it, and I think they would get up there a lot better than what they are, even though there's some up there. You know, you just don't want to be the last one. Like right now, everybody's out there fishing deep. These fish are going to start coming to the bank, and you don't want to, I mean, if you're the first one when they get up there, that's where you don't want to be the last one. So, you know, a lot of times going out like this, I'll just check it and see if they've started to pull up, because the bites you get will be better than average. You know, young pulse. This is a 1 ounce. Therefore, I'm kind of, you know, throwing that bigger swim bait just to get some more plastic on there. That 1 ounce, with the water being a little bit clearer, I can get it down there, you know, a little bit deeper, but still have it, you know, going pretty slow. If I were to put you know, a skinnier trailer on there and not as much plastic, it's going to move really fast, almost too fast. You know, if the water was 60, I would want to move it quicker, but I mean, we're still high 40s, so I want it going slow, but I want to be able to move it, if that makes sense. I literally just kind of pulled into him. It's hard sometimes. This fish is so cold. Like, some of the bites are just a slack line, and then I've had a couple bites like that one. I just kind of pulled and he had to pull back. It's just early. Like, we're a couple of weeks away from it being pretty solid. You know, when you're throwing this thing, you kind of got to follow the contour. You know, if it's flat, it's pretty easy. It's just a steady, slow retrieve. But like right here, you know, it's pretty shallow and it comes off and drops. So I want to follow that contour. And that's one of the things that you can kind of, you know, look at live scope and look out there and see what it looks like, and just be able to follow that contour down. And when I come to that edge, I'm just going to let it just kind of trickle. Just slow it down some and let it just naturally kind of fall. you know, down that bluff right. This is an underwater bluff's what it is, but you know, live scopes, it's here to stay. And even spinnerbait, and I may not have my eyes glued onto it all the time, you know, but I'm looking for, you know, just something that's a little bit different. Biggest thing is just learning or just knowing what the bottom looks like, so I know where to keep my bait. You know, old school times I would just use feel. We're not in the old school no more. Come here. Big old long skinny male. God, you just gotta love it. I come over that rock and it just, that big old blade just, boom. That's why I do it right there. You know, it's been one of them days where I've gotten a few bites, not a lot, not a ton, but they, on average, they're just, like I said, just a little bit bigger. You just kind of hunt and peck. They're coming. They're definitely coming. They're just not all there yet. It's kind of the first group that's just starting to move up. A lot of times it's some of the biggest fish in the lake. So just 1 ounce covert, big blade, slow retrieve, and some good fish. So I appreciate you guys watching, and thanks for riding along.